What is up, guys, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. And today I'm taking you for a full day of eating. And it's one I've said I wanted to do for a while, one that I just haven't really got around to doing yet, but today is finally the day. But this morning he catch me out just doing my cardio. I always do 30 minutes just walking in the morning. It's about 6 a.m, so get up, get out, and this time of the year is obviously a lot easier to go and do that. So yep, gonna get 30 minutes steps chalked off. I then get back home. I then take Rosie out. Rosie is my dog. I then take her out for 30 minutes. So that is an hour's worth of steps chalked off before we even begun the day. So yeah, I've been excited to film this one. And I know it's a vlog in which I really engage with when I watch online. So hopefully a few people like to see what I eat. And a few clients, a few people that follow me on Instagram have been asking me to do this. So yeah, today is finally the day. So yeah, but what a nice little stroll I have in the morning. Let me just spin my camera around. Lovely through here. And I've only just sort of moved to this side of the town that I grew up in. So it's actually nice to really explore around here, because I haven't really been up this end of town like all my life really, which is crazy because the town I live in is quite small. But yeah, some nice, fantastic walks for me and also for Rosie around here. So it's nice and peaceful. So hey, and one thing you might have been able to hear in the video, you might be able to, you might not, is my trainers squeaking. And that is because I've got some on-running cloud tilts on. And they are very, very squeaky. They're not as squeaky as they used to be. I think they've kind of weathered, but it is an ongoing problem I've seen for many people that wear these trainers. So if you've got any tips or advice on how to stop them squeaking, let me know. I mean, I could go and research it, but it's always good for people to let me know. But yeah, let's get this walk chalked off. Right, your turn, is it? Should we go out? Yeah, do you want to go out? Should we go for a walk? Come on in. Okay. Right, so we're back. We made it back. Didn't we, Rosie? How was your walk? How was it? Did you have a good walk? We ended up going a little bit longer than usual, didn't we? Usually do 30 minutes, but it was about 40, wasn't it, today? So hey, that's all right. Extra steps and all that. So the time is about half seven, and I've done 7. Let me have a look. Let me just let that load back up. 7. So that's not a bad morning, is it? Not a bad morning of steps. But anyway, let's get the full day of eating underway. I don't start off at this time actually eating. I usually eat about sort of 8, half 8, something like that. But usually I start off with like my creatine supplements and stuff like that. So let's show you what I have. So actually I didn't say, when I get up in the morning I always drink half a litre of water. This is actually like 1.2 litres. So I drink about half of this. I then go out for my walk, come back. I then drink the other half of this, then take Rosie out, come back, and then fill it up again. So yeah, a litre has been polished off. There's about another half a litre in there. So that's 1.5 litres of water on board. Nice and hydrated. But anyway, these are the sups. So I'll start off with a fish oil. These are going to be great for brain function, heart health, joint support, etc. I then have the digestive enzymes by Ghost as well. They're great for nutrient absorption, reduced bloating, gas, etc. So, and then also creatine. Creatine's creatine. You don't want to be missing out on creatine. 5 grams of creatine a day. We then have vitamin D3 and K2. They're great for bone health, immune support, and overall hormonal balance, I'd say. Now the final one, ashwagandha. Now I've introduced this recently just because my sleep has been pretty poor. So I'm just trying to decrease some stress on the body and improve my sleep. And since I've been taking that, it definitely helps. But a better routine is really what has been needed, I'd say, just to improve my sleep. I was going literally to bed at like midnight, whereas I got into routine a couple of hours earlier now. So now I'm actually sleeping better. But I have all these sups with also this. So let's get it out of the cupboard, but yeah. Ghost Greens. This is a guava berry. So all I simply do is I grab my mug from Rosie, best dog dad, and I literally mix in the greens with the creatine, and also I'll show you what else I have as well. I have a hydration sachet from Ghost as well. So this is a new one. I've literally just opened it a couple of days ago. So yeah, excuse the mess. So 1 scoop of greens in the morning, which is great. I must admit, I'm really making a mess here. I'm not a big sort of vegetables fan. Like, I will eat them, and you will see today in foods that I do eat them. But just getting this on board just helps me top up my fibre intake, just because if I don't have this as well, and then I am lacking on the vegetable side of things, then yeah, I'm going to run myself pretty low when it comes to my fibre intake. So yeah, I make sure that I get that in there. I also mix in 5 grams of creatine. So just a scoop of that. And I am literally making a mess here, but hey. So I have that, literally mix that up. And then also what I do have is a hydration sachet from Ghost. So I have that every single morning as well. So that's kind of like the morning routine before I even start eating. You know, I will, if I jump in the office a little bit earlier, I will probably have a coffee as well. I won't bother today. And if I do have a coffee, I always have decaf, just because later on in the day, I always have a pre-workout. I don't always have a pre-workout, but if I have a pre-workout, certainly from Ghost, it's like 300 milligrams of natural caffeine. So I don't really want to be putting any more caffeine into my body. I might have like an energy drink as well, Ghost energy drink. That's about 160 milligrams. So, but if I have that, I won't then have a pre-workout. So I try and keep that caffeine intake quite low. But yeah, the morning routine is that. It is simply that. Let me just wipe this up. So that's literally it. The water intake, the creatine, the greens, the fish oils, vitamin D3 and K2, digestive enzymes, we've got the ashwagandha, and then we've got the hydration sachet mixed in here. So all I do is mix it up with my little Ghost mixer. I always do the hydration first, just because I don't want to put in any of the greens rubbish into my hydration. So we give that a mix, and then give the greens a mix. So there we go. We go with the greens first. And how cool is this? This is the digestive enzyme supplement. It says Ghost on the sup. So ignore the dirty hands. That is just a green powder. I do wash my hands. But yep, so I have my supplements literally with my greens, with my creatine, with my hydration, and then it starts and sets me off for a nice day. Right, so before I start actually eating my food, I will come into the office and just do a couple of check-ins. I mean, I would do them on my main computer, but for some reason it's not. These are new batteries in here as well, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, we'll leave that for now. Let's just use the laptop, which I'd rather use anyway, just because it's a bit quicker with its responses. It's a new laptop, so it's pretty quick. So yeah, I come in here. Gonna come in here for probably like 20 minutes, maybe do like a couple of check-ins with clients, and then I will start the full day of eating. I don't like to have like my supplements and my greens and my creatine. I don't like to have all that, then just go and eat straight away. I like that to sort of settle for a little bit, and then, you know, maybe do a little bit of work and then jump into my meal one, which should be nice. And actually, when it comes to my meals and stuff like that, my calories, obviously I'll let you know as I'm making the foods and what my goals are currently, because my calories have been a little bit up and down. But yeah, in terms of like a full day of eating, it's a whole solid day. So yeah, it should be good. I'll do a couple of check-ins now, and then pick this up for my breakfast or pre-workout, however you look at it. That is a few check-ins done, which is nice. Now it's time to eat. It's actually, I like to eat about 8:30, I think I said. And it's now 10 to 9. So a little bit later than I would like, considering I was up early, obviously kept my steps in and getting Rosie out. But yeah, sometimes these things just happen. Sometimes, you know, check-ins will go on a little bit longer than usual. And yeah, you find yourself eating a little bit later. But hey, I'm not going to worry too much. I am on 5 meals a day at the minute. So this is where I'm at. All right, so I use my own app. I'm actually, so as a coach, I use a software company called Kahunas, and many coaches will use Kahunas, and they can develop your own app, which is fantastic. So that's exactly what I use. I use my own app, and yeah, all my meals are logged in. So I'll walk you through what I have for meal one. So I have 70 grams of Perform caramel biscuit, cream of rice, absolutely banging. In that as well, I'll have 15 grams of Biscoff spread, and then the actual protein that I'm getting from my meal, 200 grams of egg whites, along with 2 whole eggs. So that's literally my breakfast. So I'll screenshot that and pop that in the I'll pop that in the screen here so you can see the actual macro breakdown. But my actual calories for the day are 2,300. Now, I'm in a place really right now where I seem to be just making good strides and good progress. Like I'm progressive overloaded nicely. I'm always full. I've got good energy in the gym. I seem to have just really like nailed the number right now. And, you know, to push that up even higher, I'm just not really bothered. I'm not really bothered by dieting right now. Like, I haven't run a diet for probably about a year, you know, like a full proper diet. I think last time I actually dieted a little bit was around April time when I went to Florida. So I did a little tidy up then. But before then, I haven't really dieted properly, like an actual deficit where like I'm like, shit, I'm hungry. Do you know what I mean? Like I haven't really done that for a long time. So I've really found a range in which I like. And my body's just changing anyway. The scale weight's on a slight trend up, which I'm cool with. And I'm looking in the mirror. I'm looking as lean as I ever have done. In fact, I had a photo the other day. I took a photo the other day. Like I don't have a coach, so I was just checking with myself. And it's probably the leanest I've been for a long time. Like I'll insert the photo now so you can see veins are popping, and I'm very happy with that. And yeah, I'll probably feel the best I ever have if I'm being completely honest. Like in my own journey, you know, I'm lifting well. I'm probably the strongest I've been. I run once a week, and I'm probably the quickest. Well, not maybe the quickest I've been, but I'm certainly up there considering I weigh a lot more than I used to do when I used to run. So just in an optimal place right now. So that's why the calories are at where they're at. I gain a little bit of weight on that, but you know, I'm not worried by gaining loads. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm never going to be the biggest guy in the gym. I like to think I'll never be the smallest guy in the gym. I'll probably never be the fittest in the gym. But I'd rather have a bit of everything. I'd rather be able to lift. I'd rather be able to go for a run if I want to, not be out of breath when I walk. Like, that's just me. It's my lifestyle, you know. So that's exactly why the calories are at where they're at. I think I did push them up to about 2.6. Sometimes, like at one point I was about 3K. And I don't mind 3K. I was barely gaining weight on that, to be fair. Because all I do really is when I start pushing the food up quite high, I start really just my output just increases. So I don't really... the surplus isn't as high as it probably would normally be, if that makes sense. But my calories just range, you know. I'm on 2.3 right now just because I'm comfortable with that. I could probably get away with more. I could probably get away with 3K really. Some days I will eat 3K. You know, if I'm a bit flat, if I'm a bit tired, I'll just bump my calories up to about 3K. Monitor my scale weight. With my scale weight, I weigh myself 5 times a week, so I just monitor that weight as well. So yeah, my calorie range is a bit crazy. For some people, like some people like a training day, non-training day sort of like diet. Whereas I'm not really like that. I just have 2-3 every single day. My calorie range is crazy. Like, you know, some days I'll just push a higher carb day in. Like, it just depends how I'm feeling. Like, I literally just go off how I look in the mirror. I don't really care about the scales. If I'm performing crap, like, you know, if I'm not pushing more weight, then, you know, I'll top myself up and, you know, go from there. But right now, you know, my maintenance is going to be... I don't really know what my maintenance is right now. There's been a lot going on in my life, so it's a little bit all over the place. But yeah, I think overall 2-3, I'm just comfortable eating that. You know, I'm not bothered about pushing it higher. I'm not bothered about dropping it. 2-3, cool, enough to have a good day. And I'll probably increase it a little bit more. The reason it's sitting at 2-3 right now really is because, I'm sorry, I'm just switching my arm. The reason it's sitting at 2-3 right now is because most people work out their calories, their macros, etc. because they've got something coming up, you know, like holiday and stuff like that. I do have my friend's stag do coming up in about 6 weeks' time. So, you know, my calories have gone from a little bit higher to 2-3 now, but I'm all right where I'm at. Like, I don't need to go any lower. I'm cool with the way I look. I'm going on a stag do. I want to feel good. You know, I want to look good. But I'm in this zone right now. Just got to roll with it, really. So that's the hardest thing to find, and you'll find this in this industry, is like, you know, people go through the motions of training, they'll go into bulks, cuts, etc. Like, it just becomes a bit like it just becomes so much. Like I just can't be asked for that. Like I'd rather just be healthy. Like and just not saying that either end is not healthy, but I'd rather just be sitting in a number where I'm happy. I can get the most out of my sessions, enjoy my life, have flexibility, go out eating whenever I fancy it, and that seems to be right now. You know, and with a stag do, you know, coming pretty quick, I'm happy where I'm at. You know, so but when I come back from there, maybe we'll push the foods up a little bit higher. I don't know. We'll just see. But hey, anyway, let's get into the food. So we're looking at 70 grams of the Perform cream of rice caramel biscuit. Honestly, absolutely bangs. And I don't know why this is doing this with my scales. It always comes up as 2. There we go. No, still 2. Right, there we go. So 70 grams of this. I've seen various videos online as well about the best way to do your cream of rice. Some people like to just pop some water in and then put it in the microwave. Whereas I used to do that, whereas I don't do that anymore. Look at that, 71. All right, I'm being a naughty boy. So obviously we've got the 70 grams of cream of rice, and then now we are doing the egg whites and the eggs. Right, so egg whites and eggs. Right, so already we have run into a problem. I have no whole eggs, which is a pain. I knew that as well. I should have just got some earlier. But I'll end up sticking with the egg whites. I like to have whole eggs with my egg whites just because when you just do egg whites, sometimes they're a bit fluffy. Whereas if you bind them with whole eggs, they usually come out a little bit nicer. But it'll just be the egg whites today. So I'm obviously going to be losing a little bit of my fat intake because I'm not having whole eggs. So what I will do is I'll go into my app and I will make an adjustment there just because I still want my fat intake to be up. I mean, I could take the eggs out. If I take the eggs out, I'm still, 8 grams short on my fat. I then am 7-8 grams short of protein there. I could make it up later. I'll make it up later. Can I make it up later? I'll make it up later. I'm having peanut butter later, so I'll just make it up then. In fact, no. Let's put some peanut butter in now. So what I'll do is I'll pop some peanut butter in instead. Pretty much the same macro. So hey, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you'll have to adjust things along the way. You know, I like to map my food out for the whole day. Like I mapped that out 2 days ago. So really, I knew I didn't have eggs. I should have got them. But you know, if you map them out, then at least you know what foods are in front of you. For me as a coach, I can make adjustments on the go just because it's my job. I ain't even got to look at the app to do that. You know, I know what to trade that out for. Peanut butter, cool. Yeah, there we go. 20 grams, pretty much the same. So I know for me, I can chuck that in my cream of rice and be cool with that. But all I'd say is over time, you will develop that knowledge if you are tracking. So yeah, keep at it because you'll learn a hell of a lot more. Like there's some people out there that will just follow a food plan and there's nothing wrong with that either. But if you are tracking your foods to the T, then you will learn so much more about the values of foods. So there is various ways you can do your cream of rice. Some people like to do it in the microwave, but I do like to boil the kettle, put it straight in. The thing is with cream of rice as well, if you put too much water in, you then just ruin it. So you're better off starting off with less, have a little bit less, mix it in, see what the texture's like, see what the consistency's like, and then you can add a little bit more water. Whereas if you go the other way around, and you can just ruin it straight away, and you end up just basically having like a soup cream of rice. So yeah, we give that a mix, and already I can see, or I can feel that it's going to be too hard. So we add a little bit more in, and again, add a little bit at a time. Keep mixing it until you find the right consistency for you. Like everyone's so different. Some people like the gym I go to, a few of the guys there when they have oats. So by the way, I have cream of rice because it's just easier and quicker to digest. Like if I'm having a rest day, I'll have oats. Whereas if I'm training, and I always train like within the next, what is it now? It's 9:10. So I like to train about sort of 10, half 10. So this digests quickly, I can get myself sorted, get to the gym, and not feel heavy and lethargic, whereas like when I have oats, I do feel like that. Whereas on a rest day, I don't mind having oats because it's a rest day. But the actual base of like my breakfasts pretty much are the same every single day. Like, you know, I'll have egg whites with whole eggs. For my protein, I'm getting some good quality protein sources there. I think the thing is as well, it's very easy, and I used to be someone that would always use a supplement in here, and obviously working with Ghost, you know, they do some fantastic protein powders, and later on in the day I will use some. But, you know, in terms of like foods, good quality source of protein, I always try and get it from Whole Foods. That's going to be the winner, you know. So in my breakfast, I'll always have egg whites, whole eggs, and then I'll have cream of rice or oats, and then I'll put a spread probably of choice in there. Today would normally be Biscoff, but we'll go with peanut butter today just because I've missed out on the whole eggs. And then also, what I do is when it comes to my fruits and vegetables, I don't actually track them. I don't actually track them at all. Now, when it comes to fruits like, making a mess here, when it comes to fruits like bananas, apples, oranges, I will always track those in, just because they're quite high in carbs and they're higher in calories compared to the other fruits that I choose, which are berries. You know, so this morning with my cream of rice here, I'll put some berries in, you know, and I just won't track them. So, you know, when I'm talking about my calories earlier, you know, I'm eating 2-3 that's logged. Realistically, if I'm not tracking my veg and my berry intake and my sauce intake, you know, I'm not going to be on 2-3 really. I'm going to be on maybe around 2-6, you know, really, at least, you know. So it depends as well. I don't go too wild with the veg. I don't go too wild, and then even with the greens powder, I don't track that in, you know. So, you know, if you're watching this video because you need to learn how to track every single thing, I'm probably not the guy. I'm probably not the guy for you. Do you know what? But that being said, if I was, if I'm dieting, like if I'm actually dieting, I will track everything, like to the point, you know, and I've been there and I've done that. So for me, when it comes to my berry intake, when it comes to vegetables and things like that, like I've just got the eye for it. I don't need to really track it. Each to their own, you know, like some people will track absolutely everything. Even with my clients, I don't get them to track their vegetables or salad or anything like that. And the reason I don't is because when you start tracking foods like that, you start realizing like how many carbohydrates are in these foods. Like, let's say for example, you're tracking your vegetables and you've gone all day, you haven't had any veg, you've got 25 grams of carbs left, and then me as a coach says, right, we need to get some vegetables in. If you've got 25 grams of carbs left, are you going to go for vegetables, or are you going to go for like a bagel thin or something like that? You're probably going to go for a bagel. I know I would. Any normal human probably would. You know, so that's why I get my clients to not track their vegetables, because there's just no point. As long as you're getting it into your day, that's the main thing. So anyway, that is the kind of, is that where you want it? Maybe even a little bit less. I will show up to the camera. You don't want it too runny. Otherwise, again, it's just like cream of rice soup. But I think that is the one. Because actually what you find with cream of rice as well is when you let it settle, it does start to it starts to harden up. So you do want to make sure that you are, it's on the maybe slightly runny side, because then if you let it settle, it will start to harden up. But that's the sort of texture I go for. So that for me, and I mean there is some people out there that will go, that's too runny, Tom. But if you give it 5 minutes, trust me, it starts to harden up. And then here we go. Now, whenever I get the jar out, peanut butter, someone's little ears. So yeah, someone has to come and join me every time. Every time there's that noise. Does anyone else's dog do this? Like that. She's right here. But yeah, peanut butter. Peanut butter for me and peanut butter for Rosie. So we said 20 grams, didn't we? So if we get the 20 grams in there. Right, that's 20. And then Got him. Some frozen berries. Again, I don't track the berries. I just literally put in whatever I fancy. These are frozen strawberries and blueberries, so either if it's frozen or fresh, like I'm not bothered as long as I get some berries in. As long as I get some fruit into my day, you know. It's the same for vegetables, same for fruit. As long as I'm getting some into my day, I'm happy with that. So, but right, the total macros. Let me screenshot what this is going to be, all right, and then I'll show you it all together. So the actual meal is 459 calories, 30 grams of protein, 59 carbs, and 11 fat. Now, that is, I am a little bit short on my macros right now, just because I've made that adjustment. So I'll make an adjustment later on just to top that back up. But yeah, that's currently where it's at. But that, again, that's 459 calories, but that's not including the berries. So hey, it's probably more 500, you know. So, but let's show you. Obviously, I would show you the egg whites as well. I will show you the egg whites. I'll show you what I put on the egg whites. Now, I'm aware they are not that appealing, but if you've never tried buffalo hot sauce on your egg whites, please go and try. So, just egg whites themselves, like it is very, very boring, obviously, but it's a good quality protein source, and it's absolutely ideal just for what I need to hit in terms of my numbers. There we go, meal one in all its beauty. So smash this away, do some work, and then head to the gym. Right, so that's a load of work sort of tied up. I do have some more work to do later on today, but yeah, I am going to head to the gym now. So I like to stagger my sort of check-ins throughout the day. Today is a Tuesday. Tuesday is quite a sort of heavy workload day for myself. So it's nice to do sort of like a morning load of check-ins and then do some more check-ins after the gym. So yeah, that should be good fun. But it's now 20 past 10, so the day has got away with me. But I'm just getting ready for the gym now. And what I'm going to do is when it comes to like a pre-workout, I don't have like a pre-workout meal. I've literally only just had breakfast really. So I just take like a Rice Krispies square bar. So I'll grab one of those. But I do have a pre-workout. So let me show you what I have for a pre-workout. But if I come behind the camera. So in here, this is the cupboard of dreams. Look at that. A load of Ghost, eh? So in here, like I've got obviously shakers, protein powders. I've got Pump, Legend. Legend's the pre-workouts at Ghost. We've got the greens, which I had this morning. Then we do have an intra, which I sometimes will have sort of during my sessions. But today we are going to go with the Warheads Sour Watermelon. So we'll go with that. And then we're going to go with, let's go with the Natty Pump. So there we go. Pre-workout. I'll be going in. I'll be sipping on that on the way to the gym. And then these are the Rice Krispies square bars I'm having at the minute. Cookies and cream. Now, I think this is a new flavour. I'm sure it is. And I've obviously had it a couple of times and it is absolutely banging. So go and give this one a go. And then I'm going to have 4 party rings as well, just to top up my carb intake. So gonna have this and then head to the gym. So today is a pull session, so I won't bring you in there for it or anything like that. Maybe we'll get a few clips of my session. But then, yeah, we'll pick this up at the next meal. Session complete. That was a good one. That was a nice pull session, that one. I actually didn't record anything in there. And after my session, I went and chilled in the spa. As I'm a member at David Lloyd, and you get all the spa sort of facilities and stuff like that. And it's an absolutely banging day today. I think it's like 28 outside. So I thought I would treat myself to a little bit of a chill. And now I'm back home prepping my next meal. So the time is actually getting on. It is now half past 3. So yeah, the time is getting on for my second meal technically, I suppose. I did have a Rice Krispies square and some party rings. I've actually come home and started to munch on these. So will I track these in? Absolutely not. But Mr. Sims sweets, they are banging. So I have a few of them. Should I track them in? I suppose if I'm dieting, I will. Well, if I am dieting, I definitely will. But I'm not bothered really. Obviously, I'm in a bit of a strange spell right now where I'm just kind of eating whenever I fancy it really. So, but still trying to hit around that number that I said earlier. So in the background here, I've got some chicken on the go. in the air fryer. Absolute like life-changing thing, this, an air fryer. Like, I know it's kind of old news, but air fryers, like, if you don't have one, just for convenience, honestly. So yeah, I've come back prepping some chicken. The next meal is chicken, rice, veg, and a little bit of avocado. So I'll just double check that. But the seasoning for my chicken, honestly, this is the banging chicken, and I can honestly rest assure you, it is banging. It proper slaps. So if you haven't used that seasoning for your chicken, make sure you go and purchase it, because it is unreal. And actually, the same brand do like a cheese seasoning, and sometimes they put that on potatoes. So good, so good. But yeah, that was a good session. Again, it was a pull session. I didn't get any clips just because in our David Lloyd, you can't really film. I have filmed on my Instagram, so in the past. So if you want to see any of them reels, go and follow my Instagram. I'll put it in the screen here, so you can go and see what the gym's like. And then I didn't bother filming in the spa just because it's such a nice day. There's so many people in there, and it's just a bit inappropriate. So yeah, didn't bother filming in there, but had a chill. I did get a clip of like post session, like with a bit of a lat spread, and I'm pretty shit at posing, to be fair, but I'll insert that so you can see the current condition of the back. And actually, I did see on the video, there's a little vein coming up on the left-hand side, so I'm super excited for that. I get veins pretty well when I condition down, like, and diet down. Not that I'm dieting down, but I'm in that place right now where I'm very vascular, you know. I may have inserted a photo earlier so you would have seen, but if not, I'll insert a latest sort of check-in with myself so you can see how lean I am getting. But really, again, like, I don't mind like sitting around this. Like, this is sustainable for me. For some people, it's really not sustainable, but for me, it is sustainable. Really, like, it's a lifestyle for me, and I'm probably in the best sort of shape I've ever been in, if I'm being completely honest. And again, would I like to be a bit bigger? Of course, but even if I was bigger, I'd want to be even more bigger, because that's just the way it works, you know. And when you're lean, you want to be leaner, and it's just a vicious cycle. But it's a lifestyle, isn't it? So hey, as long as I'm healthy, that is the main thing. So yeah, just waiting for this chicken to finish. Another couple of minutes. I use frozen veg, so I will grab that out of the freezer. And yeah, it's a pretty boring meal, this one, if I'm being honest. Like, it's not the most, like, it doesn't look the best. Like, it's pretty basic, but for me, it's just an easy meal, you know. And then obviously we'll go on to dinner, and then I have another meal just before bed. So if I can eat now, 3:30, I'll do this. I've got some more work to do. I'll probably pop out and get some more steps in. I will take Rosie out again later, as she goes out twice a day. I mean, if it's pissing down, then I won't move. I've got a walking pad as well, so I can just always do that. But yeah, I do want to top my steps up. And yeah, then obviously I'll show you what I'm having for dinner. I don't know the calories on this. I will break that down. I'll put a screenshot in so you can see once I've got it all sorted. So welcome to the most boring meal of my day. And what we've got here is 100 grams of basmati rice. We've got 175 grams of chicken breast, obviously seasoned with the banging chicken. And then we've got some just some frozen veg along with that as well. So I do use some sauces. So I always use garlic Pyrenees. Now, if you are tracking, I would obviously track this in. It's pretty dense in terms of like calories and fat. So if you look at the serving, if you can quite work that out, 15 gram serving is 3.8 grams of fat and 45 calories. So I'll definitely be using over that. Now, if I was dieting and tracking fully, then this would be tracked in. But, you know, for now, I'm obviously not. So I will just put a light load on here for now. And then I will pop on some pink Himalayan salt. I would go ahead and say, actually, make sure that you're salting quite a lot of your foods. Simply because, if I just spin this around, simply because, like, you know, on days like today where it is fucking roasting here in the UK, like, you do want to be making sure you are not running low on sodium, all right? Sodium is one of the key electrolytes. You want to make sure that that is topped up. Electrolytes help with our bodily functions throughout the day, so sodium is a key one, so you want to make sure you're topped up. So yeah, a light bit of salt, I would say, on your meals. You know, I didn't actually put any in my food earlier. Sometimes I put it in my cream of rice or even in my oats. But yeah, I've actually had a hydration sachet this morning. Obviously, you'd have seen that. I did actually have another one when I was at the spa as well. So, you know, I don't really need to go mad with the sodium because I know I'm going to be topped up pretty well from those sachets, which are great. So, but yeah, I'm going to smash down this meal. Going to do some more work. What I would say though, again with tracking, yeah. So say you're tracking and you're tracking this in, like,
say you're having a serving, yeah, with 3 meals a day. So a serving is 15 grams, okay? Say you had that with 3 meals. The fat for a serving is 3.8. So let's just say it's 4. All right, so 4 grams of fat with a serving. If you're having that with 3 meals, that's what, 12 grams of fat. If your daily intake is 50 grams of fat and you're getting 12 via this, please understand, like, you know, you still want to be getting some healthy fats into your day. Because if you're indirectly getting fats like this, yeah, and you hit your number, that's still great. Like, obviously you're hitting your macros, you're hitting your targets. However, you want to look at the quality of foods that you're having. Simply because, like, if you get healthy fats into your day, they're going to be great for vitamin absorption, they're going to be great for satiety, they're going to be great for reducing inflammation, they're going to be great for your hormone profile. So, like, it's okay having these, obviously, if you are tracking, but just be, you know, just make sure you're still getting some healthy fats into your day. You know, you want to be looking at healthy fats are like, you know, peanut butter, you're going to be looking at almonds, nuts, you know, avocado, all fantastic, all right? I did say it was avocado with this meal. It's not with this meal, it's with the next meal. And obviously I'll show you what that is. But yeah, I'm going to smash this down, going to do some check-ins, and then I'll catch you for the next meal.
Here we are, later on in the day, and the time now is actually 7:45. So I had my client check-ins to do. I then had a call with a potential client, and then I had a call with Ghost. So just sorting out a few bits as Ghost has just landed in the UK, and there's a lot obviously going on with taking over, you know. So yeah, prepping dinner now, and what we've got now is 200 grams of potato, and we've got 2 salmon fillets, half an avocado, and some veg. So, yep, that is my dinner as such. And then I do have one more meal just before I go to bed, which is yogurt. So I actually need to grab some yogurt. So what I plan on doing is having dinner. I then plan on taking Rosie for a little walk, just 20 minutes or something. And then I will swing by a little Sainsbury's, literally just over the road. So I'll just head over there and just grab some Greek yogurt, some Farge or Faye, however you say it. I'm sure it's Faye. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, that is what I plan on doing. So, and actually on the potatoes here, even on the salmon, usually I put paprika seasoning on the salmon, but we're going to go for it again. The banging chicken, we're going to put that on the potatoes, and we're going to put it on the salmon fillets. So, but yeah, I think what a mad day. Like, it's been great to obviously show like what I eat in general. Like, and the thing is, I think when you're dieting and stuff like that, not even when you're dieting, when you're following this lifestyle, this is down to like foods I like. So many people will say to me, Tom, like, how do you stay in a physique like you do mainly all year round, etc.? Like, how do I do it? And realistically, it's because I follow, you know, not even a nutrition plan, but I follow foods that I enjoy. I make them so that I enjoy them. I don't really want to come away from them. Like, that doesn't mean I don't eat shit food. Like, I love takeaways, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, some days I'll be like, oh, I really fancy a KFC or a McDonald's or a Slim Chickens or something like that, and I'll just have it, you know. But how that makes me feel after, 9 times out of 10 is usually shit, you know. So say like on a Saturday night I have KFC, and when I have like KFC, I don't hold back, you know. Like, I do take the piss really. Like, you know, I'll have 7 or 8 fillets, you know, and 5 or 6 wings, a couple of portions of chips, and probably a burger. So it's not normal, you know. That's not a normal amount of food for someone that weighs 70 kg like I do. So, you know, I do take the piss. Maybe I should rein in a little bit with that. Maybe the next day I won't feel so bad, but that is just what I do. So it steers me away from those foods, knowing that the foods I do have make me feel better for the session I'm going to probably have the next day. So that's probably a tip really I'd say to people is, you know, if you're in a place where you're not too sure, like, you know, you're craving certain foods, if you're training the next day, just think to yourself, like, okay, how are these foods going to impact my session? And there's nothing wrong with, like, I'd say even like high carb foods the night before, certainly before, like, let's say a leg day. Nothing wrong with that. I love a Five Guys before a leg day. I always get some good pumps and some good PBs. But still, you know where I'm coming from. Like, the foods that we choose and the foods that we eat every single day are the ones that make the difference, you know. So if you want to take your physique from one place to another, you know, the quality of the results is found in the foods. I don't even care if you're in a deficit. Like, if you're in a deficit but you're eating shit, for me, like, yeah, of course you will still lose weight because that's what a deficit would do. But are you going to feel good, you know, when you get there? Chances are maybe not. I mean, if your deficit's a deficit, then of course you are going to get there eventually, but you could probably get there a lot quicker in a more sustainable, healthy way if you're choosing more nutritious foods. That's my opinion, you know. And I don't like to label foods good or bad. Like, I don't think anyone should do that really. Like, I look at food as more like some foods are more nutritious and some foods are less nutritious. I don't look at foods as good or bad. But hey, that's just my approach. So anyway, let's chuck this in and then serve it up. Well, here we go, and I'm really sorry about the presentation skills, but this is my dinner. So we've got 200 grams of potato here, we've got half an avocado, we've got some frozen veg, and then we do have 2 pieces of salmon that I've absolutely destroyed when pulling them out of the air fryer. But that is the dinner, and the total macros, the meal and the calories, I'll put in the screen now so you can see what that is. A couple of sauces here as well. So I've got the Pyrenees that I had earlier, garlic Pyrenees, which is a banger. And then actually I've got this sweet chili sauce that my mum got for me. And, you know, I haven't even looked at the calories on it. What, per portion, 28 calories. So, I mean, it's quite low. I mean, it's quite high in carbs compared to the other sauce. That's obviously quite high in fat. But, yeah, I'm not going to worry too much. They will go on here. And, yeah, I'll smash through this. And then, obviously, I've got my yoghurt later. I actually had some more Ghostland today. These are the American flavours, so you can't actually get these in the UK, but you can get these off probably like TikTok or something like that. But yeah, look, the Bubblicious Strawberry Splash. I ain't ever tried this one actually, so I'm looking forward to that one. This is the Sour Patch Red Berry. This is well, it used to be my favourite, but I'm going to have to lose my love for it because unfortunately Sour Patch and Ghost are going their separate ways. So there won't be any more of these very, very soon. And then you do have the Welch Grape Ghost as well, and if you've never tried this one will be hanging around. Yeah, this one slaps. So let's smash into this. So here we are, the final push, the final meal is about to go down. I've just come back from walking Rosie for 20 minutes, and then I just popped to the shops, literally just over the road. So popped over there, got some yogurt, and we're about to put it all together. So I picked up some eggs as well. So let me just spin this camera around. There we go, as we missed out this morning. So picked up these for tomorrow, and I do have like 2 to 4 probably eggs every single day. So yeah, just bear that in mind when you're thinking about what I normally have in a day. And then yeah, we've got some Farge yogurt, 0% fat. I end up mixing in protein powder with this anyway. So, but the macros are just like ridiculous. You think about it, yeah. For 100 grams of this, it's 54 calories. You get 10 grams of protein, 3 grams of carbs, and 0 fat. Like, it's unbelievable, like the macros on this yogurt. And realistically with this, yeah, it's quite a tough yogurt if you just eat just the yogurt. So honestly, just mix in some protein powder, any flavour, like, you know, it doesn't matter what flavour it is, but mix it in because it just softens it up a little bit. But yeah, let's put this together. So we've got the yogurt, got the scales. Let's get the protein powder. I'm actually running low on this one. Well, no, sorry, I'm not running low. I've got another tub in the cupboard, in my Ghost cupboard of dreams. But this one is the chocolate chip cookie. And the best thing about this is you do get a little chocolate chunk, like chocolate chip chunk pieces inside. And also, I nearly missed out on this, but I do actually have a bagel as well with honey, so I'll do that as well. So if I have any fresh fruit, I usually put that in here as well. I can put some frozen berries in there, but I can't really be asked. Obviously, I've had some today. But peanut butter goes in this as well. And then the bagels I have are the Everything Bagels. If you haven't had these yet, please go and give them a go. So I have this with some honey. So there we go. Today is done. That is the full day of eating. And I haven't actually done like a taste test at all on camera. And just quickly, I need to let you guys know what the actual
macros were on this meal. So I'll do a taste test now as well. But there we go. We've got the everything bagel with honey, and I sometimes have that like as a pre-workout. Like earlier, I had a Rice Krispie Square bar, and then I had some party rings. Sometimes I'll have like a banana. I'll have a bagel with honey. Maybe a bagel with jam or something like that. Or I might have that post-workout. It just depends how I feel. Earlier, I wasn't overly hungry as I had a little bit of a late breakfast. So sometimes I'll just put the Rice Krispie Square or the bagel or the banana at the end of the day. So anyway, I have also got the Greek yogurt. So 0% fat. And in here we've got 20 grams of peanut butter. We have got some berries in there. I wasn't going to bother. I couldn't be asked to put them in there, but let's go for it. We need to get them in there. And so we've got 250 grams of Fage yogurt, 15 grams of the Ghost chocolate chip mixed in there. And again, it's got the peanut butter in there as well. So yeah, let's give this a taste test, shall we? I mean, I'll give it a taste test, but I have it pretty much every night, so I know it's banging. But let's get some blueberries on there. Let's get a little bit of peanut butter on there as well, shall we? Bit of peanut butter. There's actually a chocolate chip piece right there I can see as well from the Ghost, and then obviously the yogurt. Just bangs every night. Like honestly, like just an easy way to go to bed. Really, really is. But this is the thing I enjoy the most. Just a bagel. Everything bagel though, honestly, go and give them a go. They absolutely slap. But 20 grams of honey on this as well, 10 grams on each. I'll put the macros in the screen so you can see it. So that is a full day of eating. The macros on that meal, by the way, you'd have seen them in the screen, but 620 calories, 48 grams of protein, 69 grams of carbs. It's quite high for the end of the day, to be fair. I could do without the bagel, really. And if I'm going to take the bagel and the honey away, I'm taking away 57 grams of carbs there. So bear in mind, I sometimes have that earlier in the day. I would actually rather have more carbs near my workout. I'd rather base my carbs around the workout window. I really, really would. Pre or post, I'm not really bothered. It just depends on appetite. You know, if I'm hungry, then I'll have more before I go. But then, you know, if I'm not overly hungry, usually I'll post workout have a little bit more. You know, today's post workout, I just had 100 grams of rice. You know, whereas sometimes I'll have 100 grams of cornflakes. You know, so there's a big difference there when it comes to the actual food value. You know, so it just depends on how I'm feeling. But the total macros for today, calculated on my app. Don't know if you'll be able to see it. You might be able to see it. So it's just hit 10 o'clock as well, so I'll smash this and then go to bed. 2,266 calories. 183 grams of protein I hit. The aim is 185. Carbs 223, whereas my aim is 220. Fat 69.1, the aim is 70. So a little bit short. However, again, I don't track my berries. I don't track my veg. I don't track my sauces. I don't track my seasoning. You know, so there's a lot of things I don't track, and they will add up, by the way. So if you are in a deficit or you're pushing a deficit, please remember, yeah, all these little things do add up. Like, I don't add them up because I don't really need to right now. Like, if I want to add them up, I will add them up. And if I'm pushing a deficit for a holiday or whatever I'm trying to do, then I will do that. Like, but I don't really need to do it right now, and I don't want to do it now. So there's a big difference there, you know. If I was dialing in and for a holiday and say I wasn't doing that, say I wasn't bothered tracking or doing anything, then if I get to that holiday and I'm there and I'm not actually how I want to look or how I want to feel, then, you know, I haven't done everything I needed to do. You know, so, you know, it is important when you are pushing a deficit to make sure you're monitoring everything. I don't know if you can hear that, it's Rosie whining. I think she wants some of the bagel. But yeah, like, sometimes I get clients join me and they're a bit not too sure on like the tracking aspect. You know, some people like a meal plan and some people like a macro plan. Like, everyone's so different. You know, difference between a meal and a macro plan is a meal plan, I'll write your meals. A macro plan, you can have free roam. You know, just hit your macros and don't exceed your calories. You know, but you know, it's very, very important that we understand, like, during all of that, like, you know, you don't have to do that for the rest of your life. If you're trying to diet and trying to learn, then just doing it for a short space of time is great. Like, you know, I have clients join me on an 8-week program, 12-week program, and on there we'll teach them as much as we can to understand the values of food, when to track, how to track, what foods are, you know, equate to what in terms of calories, the macro breakdown of foods. If we do all that, then it helps them out long term. You know, it's like a short training window for them to not only change their physique, you know, and level themselves up, which every coach wants to do with their clients, but realistically it's an educational time frame. I'd say 8 to 12 weeks, or if you join me monthly, some clients, I've worked with some clients for 4 years, you know, and we're constantly moving the goalposts, a new goal. We want to bulk, we want to gain, we want to, you know, cut down for holiday, we want to diet for this, diet for that, we want to maintain for a while, you know, which I would stress is just as an important field to be in compared to a surplus and a deficit. You know, you want to maintain for a long time, you know, and there's many benefits to that, you know. So, you know, but, you know, on the grand scheme of things, that's me waffling on a little bit about, you know, tracking and the importance of it and just learning about it. Again, like, you don't have to learn all of that, but it's so important. I think if you just spend, even if you just put like 6 weeks into just logging your foods, like not even working with a coach, just spend 6 weeks logging foods so you understand what you are eating. Like if you do that, then you'll probably be shocked for one, for what you are actually eating. But two, you'll learn so much around certain foods. You'll scan a certain item of food and you'll be looking at it and you'll think, do you know what? Fuck that. I don't want that. Like, this happens to me sometimes. Is it worth like scanning you know, let's say like, I don't know, like a muffin from Starbucks? It might be 400 calories. Well, you'll see on some of my meals today, like I can get a lot more volume for that and more nutritious foods. Now, of course, some people might look at that and be like, well, that food you're having, Tom, is very boring, you know, but the muffin, you know, so, some people might look at that and think that's pretty boring. I fucking love a muffin. I mean, muffins are banging and they're unreal. They really are. But, you know, for the value of what that's going to give me compared to what I can have, like for me, I just made the decision on the more nutritious foods because I like them foods, you know. That's not to say I'm never going to eat a muffin again, because I certainly will. But you get where I'm coming from. Like, you get a lot more value and a lot more volume for your calories, you know, if you are clever with it and strategic with it, should we say. But yeah, that is a full day of eating. I've never done one before, and that's the first one. So hey, maybe next time we'll do like a surplus one. But that is where I'm currently sitting with my calories and my macros. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and please make sure you like this video and please comment on the video. It would be great to obviously push this a little bit further out there to reach someone that it might help, etc. And if you're not following along, go and follow my Instagram. I'll pop it in the screen here. And also, if you are interested in any coaching, make sure you click the inquiry form in my bio or in the video description here. You click that, I'll bring you through to a form, fill all that in, and we can get chatting about how I could potentially help you. So hey, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.